I do think modern women are gambling with their lives because just speaking from my own experience, I had a whole phase like a lot of women tend to have, and like something that, especially millennial Gen Z women, that's, it feels like a rite of passage. One thing I can say, getting to 35 next month is that my whole phase definitely lasted way too long. I think.
So do you think most women have a whole phase?
All right. Shalom, shalom. Giving all praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bashim Kahak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, great millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect. All right. We're going to title this video, A Woman Having a Whole Phase is Irresponsible and Evil. Okay. Now, what you just seen was a little bit of a clip of the late Kevin Samuels. All right. Sometimes I go back and listen to his content. Right. And he was talking to a woman, and she was pretty much talking about how, for a period of time, she had a hoe phase. Right. And we're going to go more in depth on those videos. OK, we're going to go back to it. But I just want to talk about it a little bit before we go back to it. She was talking about how she has how she had a hoe phase. And, that's probably what, caused her to call in into the Kevin Samuels show. Right. Because, she was probably more than likely like at a standstill in her life to where, she has a lot of access to sex and a lot of access to simp niggas who she lets come over late at night and take her to Pound Town. But, more than likely she's at a point in her life where she can't understand why no man wants to take her serious. Every man is just trying to sleep with her. Right. OK. And, she was, talking about how, her having a hoe phase almost as if it was a good thing. OK. Now, I got this queued up in the chat GPT. Right. I put, what is a woman's hoe phase? OK, because this is the usual occurrence with, most women, especially in America. OK, where, these women, they go through a phase where they just sleep with everybody. Any man that's cute, any man that says something funny, any man that she deems attractive, she gonna sleep with them. All right, especially women that are in college. Okay, if you know a woman, all right, and she's in college, especially if she goes to a university that, she has to travel out to, like a university that's out of state or something like that. There's a 95% chance that she's in a hoe phase right now. You know what I'm saying? Because that's too much liberty to give a young woman. You know what I mean? Where she's just on college campus, not supervised by her parents. Right? She has the freedom to come and go as she wants. Okay? She lives in a dorm room, and right across the street, it's a dorm room full of boys. Right? That's too much liberty for a young woman, man. And like the scriptures say, if you give a woman too much liberty, she'll abuse herself. So, if a woman is in college, more than likely she's experiencing a hoe phase. All right, where she's just tossing the ass up, letting anybody hit. Okay, because these women, they think that they could do things like how men do. All right, and women think that I need to get the experience, the sexual experience first, then I could be ready for my husband. Okay, but most of the time, women end up like this woman right here that was talking to Kevin Samuels. They usually end up like this woman right here, man. You know what I'm saying? I guarantee you, whenever she lost her virginity, she probably, because, these women, they start young. So she probably lost her virginity in her early teenage years. ever since she lost her virginity, okay, she just went buck wild. All right. And, 20 years later, you know what I mean? She's at a fork in the road to where she don't know what the hell going on. Why haven't I been engaged? Why is all of my relationships have always been short. I can't seem to keep a man. Okay. But she wasn't thinking about that while she was going through her whole phase. She thought that, while she was in her whole phase, she thought, this is necessary so I could get the proper experience so I could know how to please a man. Okay. But then you just end up hitting the wall. All right. So let's get this in the chat GPT. It says a hoe phase is a slang term used to describe a period in somebody's life, often a woman's, when they explore their sexuality more freely, usually through casual relationships or hookups. And a woman ain't supposed to have no casual relationship or no hookups, man. Okay? Women are not designed to go from partner to partner, man. All right? They're not designed for that. Their body, their biological makeup is literally not designed to be going from partner to partner, man. This is why most women are out here, their pH balance is on the fritz, right? This is why most women are, they're batshit crazy, right? Because, when a woman is having sex with a whole bunch of men, well, first things first, when a woman loses her virginity to a man, all right, her body changes, all right? Her hormones get rearranged. Her pH balance changes. Her cycle might even come a little earlier or later. That's because when a man, inserts himself inside of her, okay, a lot of things happen to her body and her brain that affects her body. So, imagine a woman that has, had her body shifted by 40 different men. Yeah, things are going to go haywire, man. Okay? Things are going to go haywire. And that's why, yeah, these women, they're out of their mind. You get with a woman now and she's comparing you to this ex, some mysterious ex that she just can't get over. Everything you do reminds her of him, right? But if she only knew one man, okay, her mind would be centered and her understanding would be more stable. So a woman ain't supposed to have no goddamn casual hookups, okay? That's irresponsible, man. All right? It says, here's a breakdown of what it usually means. Exploitation. It's often about experimenting and discovering personal preferences, physically, emotionally, or romantically. Personal preferences. And you know who these women get this bullshit from? Not only the number one culprit, Esau, right? Because this is what Esau promoted, throughout the mainstream media, all right, the movies, just everything as far as visualization and philosophical reasoning. Esau promoted this to women, right? That they should, go out and go find their preference. What type of man do you like? Do you like a man that's 6 feet tall with a big penis and he's a lover boy, or do you like a man that's a bad boy, got a little bit of weight on him, but he has a beard? You know what I mean? These women are not supposed to have that much liberty. That's too much information for a woman to download. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So her having sex with a whole bunch of men trying to figure that out, it's just going to destroy her in the end, man. And then you got her mama, her homegirls in her ear, go out there, girl, and go find the right man. You're young. You have to figure out what you want. You got mamas, okay, that'll sit there and tell their daughter, you're too young to settle down. Okay? Go out there and go explore what you really want to do. All right. Basically, the mama is telling the woman, her own daughter, she's slutting her out. She's telling her, oh, go out there and go have sex with a whole bunch of different men and figure out what you want. And these women don't even have the common sense to look at their mama. You know, the mama that's telling them that bullshit. The mama be 3 kids, 3 different baby daddies, 45 years old, single, still trying to find a nigga to wife her up. And these women don't have the common sense to look at their mama and be like, Mom, I love you, but you're a failure. You know what I'm saying? They just listen to that bad, wicked advice, okay? And they get out here and destroy themselves at a young age, man. And now it's happening even younger, all right? Women used to go through this whole phase when they get in their 20s. Now you got bitches that's 14, 15, racking up 6 bodies. She's in high school. She done had sex with 6 niggas that go to her high school already, man. Okay? It's demonic, man. Okay? It says independence. Many people describe it as reclaiming control over their bodies and choices, especially after a breakup or during self-discovery. And that's that feminism bullshit that Esau pushed. Okay? Retake control of your body, girl. Take control of your body. What does that mean? What do you mean take control of your body, man? How the hell is taking control of your body? How are you taking control of your body, but you're giving your body away loosely to anybody? But you taking control of your body. Shouldn't take control of your body ultimately mean having a care for your body? And if you have a care for your body, then you wouldn't just let anybody in it, right? You will have to, do a deep, thorough investigation on what you allow into your body. Like, for an example, you got people that are fitness gurus, right? People that are fitness gurus and that really care about their fitness, right? They're watching their diet. They're paying attention to their calories. You know what I'm saying? They don't just eat junk food. They don't just sit around and just, put harmful substances. They don't do drugs and shit. They have a care for their body, man. That's taking control of your body right there, man. Not just sleeping with anybody, man. Okay? It says non-commitment. The focus is typically on short-term fun rather than long-term relationships. And these women, they don't want long-term relationships because that comes with too much order, right? Now she has to report in. She has to let somebody know her whereabouts, right? She has to be accountable, right? A lot of these women are really running from from their father, man. They're running from their father. They're running from men that remind them of their father, because the father is order. And they bitter ass wicked mama has always told them that your father don't know what he's talking about. He's dumb. He just wants to control you. He just wants to tell you what to wear. That's not right. So women get out here on the market and they run away from men that hold them accountable like that, man. Okay? That's why they don't want to be in a relationship, because they don't want to be tied down, man. Okay? Verse, and it's the last one. It says social perception. The term can be judgmental or empowering depending on who uses it. Some people use it proudly to express sexual freedom. Others use it negatively to shame that behavior. In short, a hoe phase is a time when a woman or anyone decides to live more freely without worrying about traditional relationship expectations. Though it's important to note, it's a personal choice, not something every woman experiences or desires. Wicked as hell. All right. Wicked as hell, man. All right. Let me get a scripture real quick, and then we're going to get to them videos. All right. Kevin Samuel's videos, and we're going to break that down. Let's start off with Sirach 26:12. It says, she will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler when he had found a fountain, right? And you already know what that means. She's giving blowjobs to everybody in the city. All right. When I was in the world, okay, I used to know women, man, that, like, for an example, I used to be in high school, and there were women in my high school that every boy knew, okay, if you want sex or if you want a blowjob in between class periods, go talk to this woman. She's giving it out to anybody. You know what I'm saying? Every high school in America has that going on, man, where there's a woman. All right. And now, shit, You know, it used to just be like one or two back then. Now it's like shit. It's like half the high school of women that are on this type of shit, that are out here just giving blowjobs to anybody who asks, right? You know what I'm saying? You want to get your rocks off. You want to lose your virginity. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, Jake young. So, you know, when we was young men, all we was thinking about was, you know, probably playing sports or chasing girls or whatever, right? So you had a lot of Jakes in high school that was eager to lose their virginity, right? And a lot of Jakes lost their virginity to the neighborhood hoe because it was the easiest option, man. All right? So I knew a lot of women like that in high school. Then there was college. It accelerates, man. College is where it explodes, man. Okay? High school is boot camp. You know what I'm saying? That's boot camp. When a woman get to college, man, what? Okay, she's at that point, she'll have sex with the fucking professor just for a better grade on her on her class project, man. Okay? That's the whole phase, man. Where it's just be totally irresponsible with your body and what you do and who you have sex with, right? That's the whole phase for you, man. It says, and drink of every water near her. By every hedge will she sit down and open her quiver against every arrow. Okay? And that ultimately means she's just riding the cock carousel, man. All right? She's just riding the cock carousel, man. Okay? And you got women out here that live this type of lifestyle and look you dead in your eyes and tell you, I'm not a hoe. I'm not a hoe. But she's saying that, but you personally know 5 to 6 niggas that hit it. Right? And these type of women, you don't bring them to meet your mama. You don't bring them to, you know, you don't show them off at a, you know, at an important event where respectable people are going to be. This, you know, these type of women are just, they're recreational use only. And that's what the majority of Israelite women have been reduced to, recreational use only, because they're out here chasing a bugged out hoe phase, man. That's destroying their body, destroying their mind. This is why you see a lot of women with that cellulite, man. Bitches with tattoos, septum piercings. Those are women that are going through their hoe phase, man. If you see a bitch with a sleeve tattoo, okay, you know what I mean? More than likely, I'm not saying all of them, but more than likely, if her whole sleeve is tatted up, all right, more than likely she's either going through her whole phase or she already went through it. Okay, she got a septum piercing, same shit. Cellulite all on her thighs and shit. Okay, that whole phase, man, has really bugged a lot of women out, man. And this is why a lot of women are out here single, okay, and they're at a standstill at you know, finding a lifetime partner. Because ain't no man really finna ain't no real man finna take a woman seriously that's you know, that went through a hoe phase. You might have had sex with a nigga I know. What the fuck I look like settling down with you, okay? And you know what I mean? And niggas I know personally have hit it, man. All right? Niggas ran a train on you, man. You got women out here that have been, you know, let niggas run a train on them during their hoe phase, man. How is that productive? How does that sanctify the body? How does that get you closer to the Lord, man? Okay? Going through some bugged out ass phase like that, man. All right? Now let's go back to these videos, man, and you know, let's go a little bit more in depth.
I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you've mentioned like basically going from the home, like going from your father's home to going to a marriage, basically. Yeah. And I feel like there should be time to explore. I'll just be frank, to explore your. Not being a hoe, but to
stop right here. Hold on, let me ask you a question.
Okay, now you see what she says, right? Right? You know, because Kevin Samuels is trying to pretty much get her to explain why, you know, she decided to go through a hoe phase. And what she was pretty much getting into is what it says right here on ChatGPT, exploration. All right. where she was saying like, I think every woman is good for a woman to explore and, you know what I mean, figure out what you like. Okay. And Kevin Samuels, he said, oh, what, being a hoe? And first thing she said was, no, not being a hoe, not being a hoe. But that's what you're saying, though. All right. And these women, they know that shit is wrong, man. Okay. This is proof right here. Because she's not even willing to own up to it that she's a whore. Right. She's still trying to, oh, no. That's not what I mean. That's not what I mean. Then what is it then, man? What is it? What the hell is that then, man? Okay. That's not being an honorable wife. That's not being a virtuous woman. What the fuck is that then, man? All right. It's Satan. That's what it is. Okay. It's the same fruit Satan gave Eve in the garden. You could be independent. Okay. Your eyes can open and you'll be as gods. You'll be as a god. That's why these women, they feel like they can run around here and just be loose with their body because of what the serpent told them. Look, you can be as men. You know, you can be as men. All right. You can be as a god and not have any responsibility or any accountability. Live your life. But the end result is completely bugged out. You got a lot of women on antidepressants. A lot of women are going to therapy, trying to reason out what's going on, you know, as far as, why they can't create stable relationships with men. Women are going to therapy because of this, man. All right. This whole phase shit, okay, is not productive and it don't really do no good to a woman, man.
Before, what do you think the average woman can learn out in the world experiencing other men that can make her? No, I didn't even finish the question. Put yourself in a man's position. What can a woman experience of value with other men that I will find valuable?
I feel like she can gain a sort of what's the word? Like you probably gonna roast me for this, but you gain a certain sexual skill. Like you talk about a woman should be able to, keep a man fed and then drain his balls, but you do pick up certain skills when you're out there. I'm not saying being a hoe, but just having a few.
So you can't do that.
Okay, you hear that reasoning? That's her reasoning for going through a whole phase. You gain a certain sexual skill, right? Real men don't want a woman that has a lot of sexual experience. At least he's not going to take her serious, right? Prostitutes, okay, are prostitutes. If you want to just get your rocks off, all right, you go get with a prostitute, man. All right. But does that mean that because you got your rocks off with her, okay, hey, what are you doing this weekend? I was hoping I could take you out. Do you want to meet my mother? You know what I'm saying? You get down on one knee and get engaged to a goddamn prostitute? No. Prostitutes have their perspective order. I'm just using her to get my rocks off. Right? So regular women who are out here talking about you get a sexual skill and yeah, okay, sure. You go get a sexual skill, but that's not a quality that men are ever going to take serious. Okay? Because you have a sexual skill. Actually, a real man, right, will have fun with you. And it's like, yeah, okay, she know how to rock my world in the bedroom. But in the back of our mind, we going to be like, how many men have you done this with? How did you get this goddamn good? You know what I'm saying? And it's almost like a little bit of disgust, right? We're never going to tell the woman that, but it's kind of like a disgust. It's kind of like a repulsive, right? It's kind of repulsive because it's like, you know what I mean? You this good in the bedroom, but how? Right? And we already know how. There's only one way how. Okay? You're out here running up your body count. You're out here tossing up the ass to anybody that wants it, man. And that's not anything of value, man. Okay? No real man is going to take a woman serious with a whole bunch, and she has a whole bunch of sexual experience, man. Okay? And, you know, you got women that are in the truth, okay, sisters, that, you know, before they got introduced to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, they might have went through that whole phase. All right? They might have went through that whole phase. But the difference between the women that believe in the Lord, they've repented of that, man. Okay?
So you think a man would find it preferable that you would do that prior to him?
I don't know, honestly. I don't know, because
the answer is no.
Yeah, but a lot of
them. Hold on. See, many of you women believe this, that it will be preferable. So what you're basically saying is men who are territorial by nature and want women to be as close to virgin as possible. You know that, right? You know men don't want women with high body count. You know that, right?
I know that, yes.
Right. So what you're actually trying to sell is that there's a value in a woman getting out here and riding the cock carousel for a couple, 3, 4 years. That's actually going to be valuable to him as an asset. It's going to be an asset for me to go to the country club with you and Daryl saying, man, she's a great fuck. You mean to tell me it's going to be valuable? I take you to the mayor's ball. And he said, yeah, she sucked me off. And no, ma'am, no.
Yeah, he hit it right on the nose. Okay. He asked her, so you think it's preferable that, you know, a man deals with a woman, right? Takes a woman serious, gets married or whatever to a woman that went through a whole phase prior before meeting him. Right. And he gave some examples. If I go to I go to an event, he was asking her, like, you pretty much think the honorable thing for me to tell my colleagues is that, oh yeah, this woman, she can rock my bed. She can rock my world in the bedroom. Right. Because that's all that was her only justification. You get a sexual skill. Right. And Kevin Samuels was pretty much saying, like, look, that's not what's going to keep you around long term. Right? That's not what's going to keep you around long term, man. If that's all you got to offer, okay? I mean, I don't understand why you might as well go ahead and go walk the fucking blade and go sell it for $100 a pop at that point. Because if that's all you got to offer, you're pretty much meaningless, man. All right? And a lot of you women have made yourself meaningless going through this whole phase, man. Okay? Because you can't pair bond with men anymore. All right? You can't. It's hard for you to connect to a man. Because let's say, for instance, she get with a man. Using this woman's logic, she gets with a man, right? Let's say before she met this man, she went through her whole phase and she knocked down 30 niggas in her whole phase, right? And that's just me being light, man. These women are off the chain, okay? I'm being nice. But let's say she knocked down 30 niggas. She finally meet this man that she really liked, but his rod is not as big as the last 3 niggas, right? So that's going to be an issue. Or his stamina in the bedroom is not as efficient as the last 3 niggas. You see? That's going to be an issue, okay? In comparison to where if she only knew one man, she wouldn't know, other possibilities. She wouldn't have anything to compare him to, right? And she'd be more likely to stay, okay? But when a woman has a whole phase, all she's doing is just comparing you to the last 5 niggas. Even if you put it down on her good, even if it was real good, okay, you made her climax and all that, she's still gonna compare you to the nigga that made her climax like this. I remember the nigga, I remember this nigga, you just want to have sex in the bedroom. I dealt with niggas that had sex in a car and in public bathrooms, a 7-Eleven. You know, she's always going to compare you to somebody else. So no, she cannot pair bond. Okay. And she's no longer a good option. All right. A whole phase is irresponsible and evil, man. Okay. It's irresponsible and evil. All right. And this is not the vibration that should be pushed to the Israelite women, the young Israelite women coming up. Because you got bozos like this, right, that will be in a leadership position over young women, right, trying to kick game to them. Imagine the advice that she would have. This woman right here will have the advice that she will have for a 15-year-old girl, right, where, you know, this 15-year-old girl, her hormones is kind of all over the place because she desires to be with a man. Imagine the advice this bitch would give her, man. She will ruin her young ass life, man. Okay? Because of her irresponsibility in her life, man. All right? Let me get another scripture. Proverbs 23, starting at verse 27. Hang on, let me let this plane go by real quick. Proverbs 23 and 27. It says, for a whore is a deep ditch and a strange woman is a narrow pit. Okay. And why does it say that a whore is a deep ditch? Because you go nowhere. You're not going to go anywhere with a woman like this, a woman that's all about exploring and trying to figure things out. You know what I mean? She's loose with her sexuality. She's a deep ditch, man. Okay. It's a black hole. All right. She presents no value, man. Okay. If all she has is sex gets boring after a while. Right. And a lot of these women that have a whole phase, because of all of them niggas they let inside of them and it's fucked with the equilibrium of their spirit. A lot of these type of women, they have a rotten personality. All of the core values of being a woman, being a helpmeet to a man, you know, they're completely incompetent of that, man. Right? This is a woman that won't listen to what you tell her. You know what I'm saying? She's not going to submit herself to you. She thinks she knows everything, right? She's argumentative. You know what I'm saying? Just a headache, man. A lot of these women that are you know, dealing with, you know, go through this whole phase, they're headaches, man. That's another reason why men don't really take these type of women serious, because they're hard to deal with. Niggas just want to, you know, release, bust that nut, and hey, you got to get up out of here. You know, I'm talking about nigga kick a bitch like this out at 3 a.m. because he don't want to deal with that headache. All right. That's all she was good for, man. Okay. Was that late night delight. All right. That's what a lot of you Israelite women have been reduced to, trying to experience a whole phase, man. All right. It says, she also lieth in wait as for a prey and increaseth the transgressors among men. Mm-hmm. Yeah. These type of women in a hoe, she can be, if you're not responsible with that, man, she could be dangerous, man. A lot of these women be having niggas that are obsessed with them, you know, because she's sleeping around with all of these men. So you got to share her with all of these different men. You know what I'm saying? And that could create conflict, man. Right? That could create conflict. You see? A lot of jealousy, all right, is included with dealing with these women, right? These women are just conflicts, man. All right. A lot of niggas are in jail right now, fucking around with hoes like this. Okay. Crashing out over hoes like this, man. All right. Nothing good comes out of a hoe phase, man. Nothing good. Okay. What are you women going to tell your daughters? You going to tell your daughter to go through a hoe phase? Go ahead, baby. Go ahead and go sleep with anybody you want. End up like me. All right. 3 baby daddies alone. End up like me. I'm the best example. Goddamn joke, man. All right. Let me get this last one right here, because this is the truth. This scripture right here, this is the truth. This is how you women, okay, are supposed to conduct your lives, man. All right. The scriptures don't say anything about a woman having a fucking whole phase, man. Okay. The Lord does not justify that. The Lord does not value that. Okay. The Lord does not approve of that, man. This is what the Lord approves right here. 1 Corinthians 7:39. The wife is bound by the law as long as her husband liveth. Okay? Meaning that a woman, first and foremost, whatever man you lose your virginity to, that's your husband, man. Okay? That's your husband. And a lot of women, hear that and be like, oh, hell no, that was 25 years ago. That nigga, I would never with that nigga. You see? But didn't nobody tell you to be irresponsible with the nigga that you let inside of your body in the first place? A lot of you women have lost your virginity to scrubs and losers. So then you justify. That's how a lot of these women justify that whole phase. Well, the nigga I lost my virginity to, he wasn't shit, so I had to move on. No, that's your man. Regardless of how it happened, that's your man. Who you lose your virginity to, that's your man. All right? Even if it's not your choice. Okay? That's why in the scriptures there's the law on grape. There's the law on if a man just takes a woman. You see? He has to pay a dowry to the father, and he has to keep that woman he has to keep that woman with him for the rest of his life. You see, he can't let go of her. And a lot of women back in those days, they were getting taken by men that probably weren't attractive. Nigga was overweight, ugly, missing teeth, right? And she's a beautiful, young, dainty woman. But if he took that virginity, regardless of how he got it, that's your man. You're bound to him by the law, okay? You're bound to him by the law as long as he live, okay? Like, for an example, you had the situation with David in Nabal, right? And, in Abigail. Now, Nabal, he was a wicked-ass nigga, okay? And Abigail knew that. She knew that Nabal was a wicked-ass nigga, but she was bound by the law. She couldn't just leave him because he was a wicked-ass nigga. She had to wait till he died. Then she got with David, right? Nowhere in the story did Abigail be like, this nigga Nabal, he wicked as hell. I'm just going to get with you, David. No, because that would have been adultery. She was, regardless of who Nabal was, she was bound to him, all right, for as long as he liveth. And a lot of you women, you ain't equipped for that level of discipline. That's why you get out here and you go have a whole phase, man, because you lack discipline. Okay. It says, but if her husband be dead, she is at liberty to be married to whom she will, only in the Lord. Yeah, that's when you're supposed to move on. That's when you can go get another man when he dies. Okay, that's it. All right. And your sexual appetite has to take a back seat. Okay, it's not about you always getting your rocks off, man. A lot of these women, they're so goddamn freaked out and perverse. They think life is about getting my rocks off. They think a relationship with a man is about getting my rocks off. And if he don't do it right, then that ain't the right man for me. But what about let's just say he's a good man. Let's just say he's a good man. He takes care of everything around the house. You know what I mean? He pays the bills, and you know what I'm saying? The children are taken care of. You women will sacrifice a good life with a good man because your sexual appetite is not at the highest level. All right? But that's what a whole phase do. A whole phase give you different options and possibilities. And, I can't deal with this because this nigga ain't hitting it right. He ain't hitting it like Tyrone. You freak the fuck out, man. You bitches is freaked out here, man. Okay, and that's why Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to have to get rid of a lot of these modern women, all right, and introduce real women that are loyal to the bone, man. Okay. And those women are reserved for the men of the Lord. All right. So I just wanted to, bust out this lesson because I seen it, as I was scrolling through YouTube.